Almost every top flight and international footballer has some kind of sponsorship deal in place with the sportswear brand, thankfully, since they would no doubt struggle to get by on just their basic salary, which can be anywhere from £500,000 to £50 million a year. For some players, these deals are pretty minor supplements to their overall income, but for the elite players, and the really high profile ones, they can be pretty lucrative. The wages in football are now so high that few players earn more through endorsements than their regular wages, but that was the case for someone like David Beckham throughout most of his career, and Cristiano Ronaldo's income reportedly has roughly a 60-40 split between his Juventus salary and endorsement deals. This video has actually been requested for quite a long time, but I only got around to doing it this week. Adidas and Nike are by far the largest kit and boot manufacturers in football right now, but there are other significant players in the industry like Puma, Under Armour and Umbro. If there is a player you are surprised not to see feature, let's say Kalidou Koulibaly or Sergio Aguero for example, it may be reasonable to assume that they are sponsored by a brand other than Nike or Adidas. Right, since there are two 11s to get through rather than one like usual, I'll have to go a little quicker here, so we'll get started with the Nike 11. Goalkeeper, Alisson. Between the sticks in our Nike 11, we have FIFA's best goalkeeper for 2019 in the form of Alisson Becker. Briefly the world's most expensive goalkeeper following his £66.8 million move to Liverpool in 2018, Alisson added the finishing touches to Jurgen Klopp's side in many respects. The Brazilian number 1 has excellent reflexes, agility and distribution with the ball at his feet, and he wears black Nike Tiempo Legend 8 football boots. Right back, Joshua Kimmich. Arguably the finest right back in the world, Joshua Kimmich is a delightfully gifted footballer, and he wears Nike Phantom VNM football boots. Capped 48 times by Germany at the age of 24, Kimmich has been Philipp Lahm's heir apparent for both Bayern Munich and the German national team. A real creative force down the right flank, Kimmich's technical and tactical proficiency means he can play in a variety of positions, but it's right back that he's tended to inhabit for the last few years, and it is there that he starts in our Nike 11. Centre back, Sergio Ramos. A man who recently topped my list of the 7 greatest centre backs of the last decade, Sergio Ramos is in the autumn of his career now, aged 33, but he is still absolutely pivotal to Real Madrid and Spain. Ramos is Spain's most capped footballer of all time with 170 caps, and he ranks 5th in Real Madrid's all-time appearance charts. Not always the most likeable, Ramos is someone you'd always rather have playing with you than against you, and he'd most likely captain our Nike 11. Centre back, Virgil van Dijk. Centre back partnerships don't get much better than this, provided Sergio Ramos and Virgil van Dijk could settle their prior differences in order to form a functional partnership. Ramos is tough, aggressive and uncompromising, whilst Van Dijk is more composed, an excellent athlete and a real man mountain. His arrival at the highest level may have come a little later than most, but he is now widely regarded as the most accomplished centre-back on earth, and he came second in 2019 Ballon d'Or voting. Left back, Andy Robertson. Rounding off a pretty Liverpool-centric back 5, which includes Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson, there may be more to come from Jurgen Klopp's side in our Adidas 11 team. With Kimmich and Robertson as our 2 fullbacks, this side has tremendous creativity coming from deep, and Robertson hit double figures for assists in the Premier League last season. The former Hull City defender suits Jurgen Klopp's current Liverpool side down to a T, and hopefully he'd be as effective in our Nike 11. Holding midfield, Sergio Busquets. It's no secret that HITC Sevens HQ has Sergio Busquets posters all over the walls, since I'm a big fan of the Spanish pivot. A man with an extraordinary football IQ, Busquets reads the game beautifully and makes everything he does look remarkably easy, but there have been few players as effective as him in what he does in the entire history of the sport. He hasn't been at his very best for the last couple of years, but the pink Nike Phantom VNM wearing Barcelona star is my choice in holding midfield. Central midfield, Kevin De Bruyne. Another player of whom my fondness for has been well documented and widely mocked, Kevin De Bruyne continues to prove his class on a weekly basis. The finest player in the Premier League and the finest midfielder in the world right now, in my humble opinion, De Bruyne, is sponsored by Nike and also wears the Phantoms, so he cruises into this 11. Central midfield, Luka Modric. You could make a very good case for this side having the perfect midfield trio as Luka Modric rounds off an exquisite midfield. The former Tottenham star is the complete package in terms of his intelligence, his technique, and his superb work ethic. A 4-time Champions League winner and Ballon d'Or winner in 2018, Modric, wears Nike Mercurial Vapor 8 Elites as part of his sponsorship deal with the brand. Right wing, Kylian Mbappe. This 11 isn't getting any weaker as we come to our front three, and I think it's fair to say this team man for man is better than any actual team on earth. French sensation Kylian Mbappe is still only 20, but he has already scored 108 goals in 176 games at club level and 13 goals from 34 caps for France. Last season he averaged almost a goal a game, and he has scored 17 goals in 17 games this season at the time of recording. A phenomenal talent with searing pace and ruthless finishing ability, Mbappe can play on either the right flank or through the middle, and it's on the right that he starts in this 11. Left wing, Neymar. Making it an all PSG affair on either of the flanks, Neymar is undoubtedly among the most gifted footballers on earth. The most expensive footballer of all time, Neymar has also been described as the most marketable athlete in all of South America, and he has some of the most lucrative endorsement deals on the planet. The fleet-footed Brazilian superstar reportedly signed a $105 million 10-year deal with Nike back in 2010, and he's a surefire inclusion in this 11. Centre forward, Robert Lewandowski. By far the most difficult decision in not just this 11 but in either side, I had the choice of either Robert Lewandowski or Cristiano Ronaldo through the middle in our Nike 11. Now, bearing in mind that these two 11s are based purely on current ability and nothing else, I was leaning towards Lewandowski. However, it felt so mad to leave Cristiano Ronaldo out that I had to put it to a Twitter poll to check I wasn't going totally insane. On Twitter, 81% of you said Lewandowski was the better player right now, compared to just 90% for Ronaldo. As such, I felt vindicated to go with my gut, but it does still feel wrong. Lewandowski has scored a laughable 29 goals in just 23 games this season, compared to Cristiano Ronaldo's 11 in 19, but it won't surprise you to find out Nike pay Ronaldo multiple times more than they pay Lewandowski. I think it's right that the poll starts in this 11, but for a big game, and certainly the Champions League knockout stages, there's no way you'd be leaving Ronaldo out. On the bench for our Nike 11, we have Man City goalkeeper Ederson, Barcelona captain Gerard Piqué, Juventus fullback Alexandro, Brazilian defensive midfielder Fernandinho, his Man City teammate Raheem Sterling, England captain Harry Kane, and obviously the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Moving on to our Adidas 11, we start in goal with Marc-Andre ter Stegen. For my money, Marc-Andre ter Stegen is the best goalkeeper in the world right now. Barcelona have been nowhere near their best this season, but other than the indomitable Lionel Messi, ter Stegen has been the club's best performer. He wears Adidas Predator 19.1s as part of his sponsorship deal with Adidas, and he sees off some pretty formidable competition to be our Adidas 11 number 1. Right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. A number of the world's most high-profile right backs don't have deals with either Adidas or Nike, but we do still have two excellent right backs across the two teams. Starting in our Adidas 11 is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, whose praises I've been singing for some time now. Defensively superb during his time at Crystal Palace, Wan-Bissaka will now have to add some composure and guile to his play with the ball if he is to become a world-class fullback with Manchester United and England, but he's already among the best fullbacks in the Premier League. Centre-back, Mats Hummels. Mats Hummels has a contract with Adidas and presumably a contract for life which says he can only ever play for Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. The 2014 World Cup winner began his career with Bayern, then he joined Dortmund, then returned to Bayern, and most recently rejoined Dortmund in the summer just gone. An excellent centre-back, Hummels wears Adidas Copper 19.1s. Centre-back, Aymeric Laporte. This back four perhaps isn't quite as adventurous and creative as our Nike back four, but it looks pretty rock solid defensively, and certainly Aymeric Laporte is at least a centre-back who is comfortable with the ball at his feet. Pep Guardiola's defensive linchpin at Man City, his absence and City's inability to replace him, has been brutally exposed during the first half of this season. The 25-year-old wears Adidas Predators, or at least he will, once he returns to action. Left back, David Alaba. Most of the world's top left backs seem to be endorsed by Adidas, and David Alaba is the pick of the bunch for me. The Bayern Munich star is a superb competitor and arguably the most complete fullback on earth, and he has won 72 caps for Austria at the age of 27. A 6-time Austrian Footballer of the Year, Alaba wears Adidas Nemesis boots as part of his deal with the sportswear brand. Defensive midfield. N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante would be a valuable addition to any side, and it was a bit of a no-brainer to include him in our Adidas Best 11. The tireless little Frenchman is often likened to having 2 players on the pitch in midfield, such as his energy, work rate, and sheer determination to win the ball back. The 28-year-old had a meteoric rise between 2015 and 2018, going from relative obscurity in France to a 2-time Premier League and 1-time World Cup champion. Central midfield. Toni Kroos. The inclusion of N'Golo Kante is particularly valuable given the man playing in front of him, since Toni Kroos is hardly renowned for his long-busting runs up and down the pitch. Another World Cup winner, Kroos was arguably the outstanding player in Germany's triumph in 2014, dictating the rhythm of games and creating numerous goals. He is among the best passers of the ball on the planet, and he's the second man in our midfield 3. Central midfield. Ivan Rakitic. Croatia have produced magnificent central midfielders in recent times, and both our Nike 11 and our Adidas 11 feature a Croatian in the middle of the park. Luka Modric is a better footballer than Ivan Rakitic, and our Nike midfield is stronger than our Adidas one, but both have enormous talents. Rakitic is an excellent technician and a fine passer of the ball, and he starts in favour of some slightly more dynamic central midfield options that I will name on the bench. Right wing. Mohamed Salah. There's no Sadio Mane in either our Nike or Adidas 11s, since the Senegal star has a deal with New Balance, but his Liverpool teammate Mohamed Salah starts on the right flank in the Adidas 11. A star man for one of the best supported teams on earth, and practically a god in Egypt, Salah is an incredibly marketable athlete who is worth a lot of money to Adidas. He's also a terrific footballer, and he recently exceeded Luis Suarez's goal-scoring tally at Anfield. Left wing. Son Heung-Min. There are maybe some bigger name players in this 11 that miss out on the left wing, but I would argue none more talented than Son Heung-Min. A little like Salah in Egypt, Son has near mythical status in South Korea, and he is the most marketable Asian footballer in the world right now. Quick, versatile, and clinical, Son can play in a variety of positions, but I think he plays his best football coming in off the left. A combined total of 12 goals and assists in the Premier League so far this season puts him among the most productive players in the division yet again. Centre forward. Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is obviously the finest footballer on earth, and he can play either wide on the right, in attacking midfield, or as the main man up top. But with the strength of Salah and Son on the flanks, I decided to play him through the middle here. Messi has been devastatingly brilliant for almost 15 years now, so it's a little wonder he is among the most marketable athletes, never mind footballers, in all the world. In 2017, Messi reportedly signed a new lifetime contract with Adidas that will see him earn $12 million a year from the sportswear giants. On the bench for our Adidas 11 is German number 1 Manuel Neuer, Belgium centre-back Vincent Kompany, Real Madrid fullback Marcelo, 2018 World Cup winner Paul Pogba, crosstown Manchester rival Bernardo Silva, brilliant Bayern Munich wide man Serge Gnabry, and Liverpool's selfless centre-forward Roberto Firmino. Looking at the two teams side by side, personally I think the Nike 11 is the strongest, particularly with the spine of Ramos and Van Dijk at centre-back, along with Busquets, De Bruyne and Modric in midfield. The firepower of Mbappe, Neymar and Lewandowski, with the ability to introduce Cristiano Ronaldo as a substitute, is obviously pretty frightening as well, and I'm not sure the Adidas 11 could live with it. On the flip side, the Adidas 11 has Messi, so you really couldn't rule them out. Let us know which side you think would win in the comments, and any other video ideas you'd like to see on the channel over the festive period. But that's all from me for now. Thank you for watching, smash the like button if you enjoyed the video, and obviously make sure you are subscribed to HITC Sevens, because, as mad as it sounds, there are still some people who aren't.